What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another Best Bet show. It is Sunday, December 1st. Honestly, we're rolling right now. A beautiful November, a fantastic November. Just winning days galore. We're in the meat and potatoes grinding part of the NFL season, and it's fun to just go through and see what's going on. We got the Bills, who can clinch the AFC East surprisingly with the win tonight against the 49ers. The Magician Chiefs, the Miracle Chiefs, the Lucky Chiefs, whatever you want to call them, already basically clinched the AFC West almost. They need probably about 2 more wins. Chargers 7-4, Broncos at 7-5, 2 surprising above 500 scenarios in my opinion there. Steelers, Ravens, Bengals, Browns. Obviously, big games for the AFC North. You have the Steelers facing the Bengals, and the Bengals, if they lose this game, they're basically done. If they win it, they still have somewhat of a sliver of hope, but not really overall. And the Ravens have a game against the Eagles, so the Steelers can pull away with a win against the Bengals and a Ravens loss to the Eagles, but should be a tough task overall. And the Texans can help solidify their AFC South division win with a win over the 2-9 Jaguars today. So a bunch of important games. That's before we even get into the NFC West or the NFC East scenarios. But, a bunch of important games this week, and honestly, a lot of close spreads. The biggest spread on the entire slate right now is the Bucks 6.5 as road divisional favorites against the Panthers. And then I think 6.5 with the Bills and the 49ers as well on Sunday night. And that's basically it. There is no touchdown favorites in this week. Should be an awesome week for football. You have some snow weather games and some other ones. We have a smaller slate this Sunday, obviously due to the 3 Thanksgiving games and the 1 Black Friday game. So about 2 less games per usual, I think. I'm really not too sure on the exact number, but a bunch of good games all around. Now, before we get into some best bets, let's take a look at our sponsors. Let me take this off real quick. Boom, and go to presents my screen. Let me move this over here. There we go. Share screen, and we're going to go window, and we'll go right here. Boom. All right. DraftKings Pick 6. New customers play $5, get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Use my code in the link in the YouTube below. / Pick 6 - Matty. Once you click the link, you can also use Austin's as well, but I'm here and you should use mine. A lot of good stuff on DraftKings Pick 6. Again, you can also use the DraftKings regular sportsbook, but if it's not legal in your state, Pick 6 should be for you to get DraftKings in either state. A bunch of good stuff. The best way to do this, obviously, is to take the kicking points, take the lines that are here, see if they're juiced on other books, and see if you could find value. That's honestly the best way to look at it, in my opinion. A lot of good interception numbers here. A lot of good passing touchdown numbers here, too, it should be. So I know Sam Darnold is juiced, so doing more there would be a good spot. But again, some fun games. We're on Nico Collins. Again, the Texans, Jaguars. I think the Texans are a lot better than the Jaguars. I think CJ Stroud has been struggling. To me, I'd put this more at a 4.5 / 5 point spread than being on the road. So I definitely have a bigger lean on the Texans. I'm on Nico Collins receiving yards and longest reception. The Jaguars play a ton of man coverage. They allow so much big plays, big chunk plays. And if the Jaguars can keep this close, I think that soars. I think the only way it misses is if the Jaguars just get absolutely destroyed. But CJ Stroud has looked a little rough the last few weeks, so we'll see if he can bounce back with a good matchup, in my opinion, against the Jaguars. Titans, Commanders. Again, I'm not going to watch this game. I think Jaden Daniels and the Commanders, I think they've been overachieving all year long. They've won a lot of one-score games, a lot of lucky wins, in my opinion. I think they're a good football team. I think their record's a little skewed in that regard. I think the Eagles are a much better team than the Commanders. I think overall they're just getting a little bit lucky with some wins. But again, a decent football team, but I think a lot of people I think the public's going to fall for this -6 trap. I think this is a closer game than we think. I think I lean the Titans at +6. I'm really not high on the Titans at all, but it just seems like one of those trap 6-point spreads against a team that we know, looking at records, you think they're a little overachieving a bit. Then we have the Cardinals and the Vikings. I mean, you look at some receiving props this week, and I really think that Nico Collins is going to absolutely feast. I think Justin Jefferson gets back on the horse this week. I know Jordan Addison isn't kind of coming out of his shell, but I really like Justin Jefferson. And then Jamar Chase has been just grubbing all year long. I mean, this is a pretty public play, as public as it can be. I don't normally do stuff like this, but you're telling me these are great matchups, fantastic matchups. Jamar Chase, obviously, probably the toughest matchup against the Steelers, but I may have to put these guys in the mega along with their touchdowns and just look to have ourselves a day. The sneakiest prop, I think, on the board that I may add to my card is going to be Geno Smith over 3.5 rush attempts or 12.5 rushing yards. And I'm telling you right now, let me see here. Geno Smith, let's go pull up his game log. I didn't add this yet. Twelve and a half rush yards, right? Remember that line, and 3.5 rush attempts. Okay. Look at this. Look at this right here. Can you guys see this? Let me see if I can move this up a little bit. Look at this. To 3.5 rush attempts. 1, 2, 2 and 1, 3 and 1, 4 and 1, 4 and 2, 5 and 2, 6 and 2, 7 and 2, 8 and 2, 8 and 3 on the year to rush attempts, right? 8 and 3 on the year. It is a pick 'em. We do get kneel down potential. So you look at 8 and 3 on the year. Again, the rush attempts, he could get some kneels for you. But the other way, too, at the 12.5 rushing yards, look at some of these longest rush attempts. Now, here's where it gets interesting. If we look at NFL pressure rates, you look at sack percentage, the Jets are at the top, right? They get a ton of sacks, a ton of pressure on the quarterback. Now, you look at Denver and the New York Giants. Surprisingly, the Giants have a great pressure. That's why they've been somewhat decent defensively at times. But again, just remember Denver and the New York Giants. He's faced Denver and the New York Giants, the only two top 10 pressure rate teams he's faced. And look at what he did. 4 rushes, 72 yards. And then 4 rushes and 30 yards. Those are, again, the two teams he's faced with the highest pressure rate. These other games, he's covering this line in games that are technically bad matchups. We saw him last week or 2 weeks ago against the 49ers. He ran for that game-winning touchdown. It is a revenge game for Geno Smith. I think he's back in MetLife for the first time, I would assume, since because they don't play each other, being cross-conference, etc. But even look at this. He hasn't played any of these teams. The next team he's faced with the high pressure rate is the Los Angeles Rams at 11th. Again, 6 for 16, 6 rushes. Other than that, he hasn't faced a single team basically in the top half. It's mind-blowing. A lot of these games, he's faced teams that just don't rush, that don't get to the quarterback. So for me, if I'm looking at this, again, I cannot decide what's the better play. It's looking like, based off the rush, the pressure rate, that yards is the better play. But then he could get Niels to ruin it. I don't know. I don't want to split another half a unit. I'm probably going to play it again. I think he plays with some extra urgency. You look at his game logs overall, and in wins, it looks like he's running a little more. I guess overall he's running a ton. This game, I think, was a blowout. They were kind of trailing the entire time, but it's going to be an interesting game. I love the Geno Smith attempts there, or rushing yards there, and I think him at 25 plus is kind of wild. I wonder what the odds are. Plus 260. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. But I'd like the Geno Smith look a ton. Again, I think this is a great slate. I think there's gonna be a ton of value. I think we see a lot of touchdown scores. There isn't like any gross 34 and a half, totals. Got a lot of high totals here. Again, Bucky Irving, probably a great spot against the Panthers. We know the Bucks have a running back tandem, and it's very good. And I think that they're going to be winning this entire game. Another bet I want to take, and it's in the same game. The Jets have a great pass defense, which also goes to my theory of Geno Smith rushing. But you look at our golden goose, our sweet prince, DK Metcalf. His longest reception is 21 and a half. I mean, we've been casting this line at 24 and a half, 23 and a half. I know it's a tough matchup, but 21 and a half just seems, I don't know, it just seems low given the matchup for sure. But he averages 15 yards per catch. So for me, I feel like it's just a low line that I kind of want to take almost every single game. If we're being honest. And overall, I think he just is just such a big deep threat. The 21 and a half is just kind of crazy. I will say I'm probably doing a nice kicker prop, a kicker parlay. I want to do field goal yards and do longest field goal made and just do like a big 47 and a half one. They're kind of bumping up to 48 and a half on a lot of books. But like this may be doable. I mean, honestly, in a dome, I may have to do a 5-legger for plus 24. I mean, just root for a 50+ yard field goal, both teams. I think in the dub club, I'm going to do a big kicker parlay. But again, I'm going to pull up my plays right now that we're on. I don't even think I put them in here, actually. Let me see. NFL Sunday. I do like it. The lines are so low, just given the. Hold on, let's see. 29.5 receiving yards. Hubbard over 15.5 receiving yards. 0.5 U. Collins over 27.5. Oh no, 85.5 receiving yards. Collins longest over 27.5. What else are we even on? Steelers over 1.5 field goals. Texans over 1.5 field goals. 1, 2. I forget what else I'm even on. Oh, Baker Mayfield longest rush. Our sweet prince. I think this is it. I have it on my tracker here. I can pull up. 1 second. That is it right now. That's a lot of plays. A nice 0.5 units split here. I'm going to go Geno over rush yards or rush attempts. DK longest over 21.5. I got to make my touchdown parlay. And it's got to be a good one. Got to be a good one. I already know who kind of like. I'm definitely going Nico. Love the matchup. Probably not taking a touchdown there or there. Brian Robinson, especially with Eckler out. I really like AJ Brown too. I might go Taysom Hill. I mean, this 3-leg is pretty juicy. I know Taysom Hill's been getting some red zone snaps. 3 touchdowns, 1 touchdown. I mean, he's getting some receiving, some rushing. He's like a Swiss Army knife. This is as good of odds as you're gonna get. Honestly, I this is what I like. I don't want to get those ugly games. I think this is it. I think this is the touchdown parlay I'm posting as well. Guys, I'm gonna get some stuff out. This is definitely what I like. So get it. I'm definitely posting this. So get a jump on this if you can. We'll be posting some nice mega lottos as well. Thank you for tuning in. Best of luck in your bets today. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.